Government agencies on the ground as above normal spring tides hit. CDC continues to monitor the situation, and the president says coalition returns stability and development to the country. Welcome to InfoHub. It's Tuesday, October 29. We hope you have a great Diwali. Here's what's making the news. Several government agencies have rallied and activated response procedures following the recent spring tides.
The agencies, including the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Sea and River Defense Department, NARI, GRDB, Ministry of Public Health, GLDA, and the Ministry of Communities. These agencies have rallied their teams to ensure that apart from temporary emergency response measures, more long-term solutions are provided to Guyanese living along the coast. Spearheading the response efforts is the Civil Defense Commission. Senior Response Officer Captain Salim October explained that CDC is working with Guyana's best interest at heart.
Disaster risk management and emergency response is a highly bipartisan activity. And at the Civil Defense Commission, we are very particular about ensuring that our response is people-based and based on the needs of the people on the ground.
To help mitigate the impact of Sunday's high tide, the GLDA has assisted farmers in the protection of their livestock by providing veterinary assistance, supplemental feeding, and the transport of animals to higher mounds.
We're having officers in the field in all the affected areas. Our main focus is the Maikoni area in Region 5. And in that area, we have been doing a lot of work assisting the farmers.
According to the technical officers, the sensitization efforts have helped to reduce loss as residents have employed measures prescribed by the CDC. Loss assessment and disaster responses are being carried out in Regions 3 and 5 today. Residents living along the coastline in Regions 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are advised to follow the necessary precautions to minimize damage to property and prevent any health hazards. The government's aggressive approach in ensuring that residents in low-lying areas along the coast are prepared for the unusually high tides has helped cushion the impact of the flooding. Natisha Isaacs for InfoHub.
We will bring you updates later this evening on the Civil Defense Commission's relief exercise to Regions 3 and 5 following the recent overtopping in the identified areas. So stay connected to our social media platforms for those stories. Let's tell you now that His Excellency President David Granger recently asserted that stability and development are what the APNU-AFC coalition brought to the Guyanese people. This was disclosed during an interview with the head of state aired over the weekend.
My first tenure as president brought stability to this country. It brought development. We have not been able to fulfill all of our objectives, but I have been able to inspire confidence in the bulk of the population that we should be allowed to continue our work.
President Granger was at the time appearing as a guest on Inside Sources podcast. The head of state explained that his decade of development plan encompasses education, employment, health, and infrastructure, and will continue the work already begun by his administration in these sectors, which is pivotal for the country's development. He said that over the past 4 years in office, he has not been a laid-back president.
I'm a very strong leader, and I'm not laid back at all. I insist on high standards, high quality performance, and I am behind my ministers, behind my officials, to ensure that they deliver the best quality service. Every month, I meet all of the permanent secretaries here so that they can report on the performance of their ministries. Every week, I meet my ministers. Every week, I meet my security officers, and most of the changes you see being implemented in some of these sectors are the result of my initiative.
President Granger said the Guyanese people has felt and experienced the development happening throughout the country and assured that he will work to ensure they receive quality service.
They know that I do what I say and I say what I do. They know that I will deliver, I will do my utmost to deliver quality public services to them so that they and their children could live happily in this country.
Isaiah Braffett for InfoHub.
The full recording of that interview can be found on our social media platforms. Meanwhile, today, at an occasion held to mark the 175th anniversary of Queen's College, His Excellency President Granger observed that the institution epitomizes excellence. The packed program featured the singing of hymns, musical performances, and special awards to outstanding past alumni. There are also remarks by QC's board chairman Alfred Granger, Principal Jackie Ralph, President of QC's Old Students Association Dr. Aaron Fraser, and a highlight address by the head of state. According to President Granger, Queen's College had to be good since it produced 4 of Guyana's 8 executive presidents and many others who provided sterling contributions to their countrymen and women.
3 prime ministers, 3 chancellors of the judiciary, Rhodes scholars, several chief justices, high court judges, and numerous ministers and public servants, thousands of academics, bureaucrats, businessmen, diplomats, scientists, and other professionals. It maintained its position as the country's most successful secondary school and as a center of academic excellence. It remains Guyana's longest surviving secondary school because it is Guyana's most successful secondary school. It assured continuity while it adapted to change. Change has been constant in the college, but more important, continuity has shown that it has never ceased to produce graduates of excellence.
Queen's College formally began in just 15 students and now caters for more than 600. According to President Granger, the school will continue to maintain its top position as long as it continues to offer world-class educational programs.
Today, Guyana gives praise and thanks to the vision of its founders and to the staff who continue to work towards the achievement of their goals. And I recall the motivating words of our memorable school song, Laude gratimer scolae nostrae conditoris, discenam iubent ludo et labore moris, corpus sic tibi sanum, sanamen servavit, reginae collegium, sic honoritabit. May God bless Queen's College now and forever.
The president, a QC Old Boy, also unveiled plaques for the Dr. Lawrence Memorial Library and the Miss Lynette de Weaver Dolphin Center for Excellence in the Creative Arts. This was preceded by his donation of a check for $2 million towards its science program. Still to come, annual Agri-Research Conference opens and Region 9 hosts its 3rd annual Regional Agricultural and Commercial Expo. Details after the break. Thanks for staying with us. Agriculture is undoubtedly one of the most important sectors in the Upper Takatu, Upper Essequibo region, with close to 4,000 acres of non-traditional crops and a considerable amount of the nation's cattle. This was highlighted as the region hosted its 3rd Regional Agricultural and Commercial Exhibition at Aletta Market.
The government, through the Agriculture Ministry, has prioritized the agriculture sector, making it a national development initiative. To this end, millions of dollars have been invested to push the Rupununi Savannah as a new frontier for agriculture development in Guyana. Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Noel Holder.
The Rupununi Region 9 can be the backbone of Guyana's hinterland development. This will build a sustainable and resilient economy. Let me reaffirm the Ministry of Agriculture's commitment to working with our partners to leverage natural capital in Guyana's material. Rupununi.
Meanwhile, the Indigenous Peoples Affairs Minister, the Honorable Sidney Allicock, underscored the importance of the sector to the region's economic development. He noted that farmers have the potential to create their own niche markets since the region produces its own organic foods and is known for its value-added products such as peanut butter and cashew nuts.
Agriculture, it is such a quintessential sector in any country across the world. It is true. Food is life. but not just food, but good organic food, the kind we produce here across this region, in Region 9, where our farmers are of some of our most valued assets. They are also of great value to the residents of Region 9 and even outside of Region 9.
RACE, a brainchild of His Excellency President David Granger, was introduced to promote agricultural development and to encourage citizens, including those in the hinterland, to better market their products. For InfoHub, Delicia Haynes.
The National Agricultural Research and Extension Institute continues to move towards sustainable agricultural practices. In this regard, the 4th Annual Agricultural Research Conference is being hosted at the Guyana School of Agriculture.
Our current and future agenda must continue to give priority to strategies for sustainable and economic development. It is therefore necessary that our researchers and extension personnel become fully acquainted with sustainable agriculture development. And that is, as I said, the basis for this conference.
The conference is being held under the theme, Paving the Way for Sustainable Development Through Innovative and Adaptive Research.
Sustainable agricultural practices are intended to protect the environment, expand the Earth's natural base, and maintain and improve soil fertility. Agricultural research is one of the main factors contributing to shifts in agricultural systems and changes in the rural world. In particular, it is helping to improve productivity, to increase agricultural incomes, and to change agricultural practices.
While research is important, implementing the findings of these research documents is where the real challenge lies, as Country Representative for the FAO to Guyana, Dr. Gillian Smith, outlines.
Now, the application of that research to the field is another area that is going to be really vital. And it requires not just researchers, it requires the input and the cooperation and collaboration with farmers. Because a lot of the things that farmers first note, farmers are the first line of defense. They're the ones who note changes, and these changes need to be looked at in a systematic and scientific way.
Minister within the Ministry of Agriculture, Valerie Adams-Yearwood, reaffirmed her ministry's stance on embracing sustainable agriculture and the importance it plays in ensuring food security, thereby helping us to work towards goal number 2 of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, zero hunger. Reporting for InfoHub, Nikosi Bruce.
Remember to tune in to The Voice of Guyana on Wednesday, October 30 at 11 a.m. when the Minister of Public Health, the Honorable Walter Lawrence, will be discussing recent updates in the public health sector on Insight. So be sure to tune in. Also, here's a reminder from the Guyana Elections Commission.
GCOM's preliminary list of electors is now on its website, www.gcom.org.gy. Citizens are reminded to check the voters list to ensure their names are on it. GCOM's claims and objection exercise began on October 1st and will end on November 18, 2019. During this time, the following persons can check the registration office in their respective districts to verify their registration records for inclusion on the list of electors. Persons who are 18 years or older or will become 18 by December 31st, 2019. And Guyanese citizens by birth, descent, naturalization or registration, and a citizen of a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for no less than a year before December 31st, 2019. Also, persons whose names appear on the Central Registrar can make changes or corrections during this period. GCOM's claims and objection exercise is being conducted at all GCOM offices throughout the country.
Before we close our newscast this evening, here are some scenes from this weekend's Diwali celebrations. That's all for today. Connect with us on WhatsApp, Facebook, and YouTube. Much more news is on our website, dpi.gov.gy, and pop over to Instagram for the latest photo updates at DPI Guyana. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye for now.